This is another unique thing about the Gospel of Mark. Mark's main point is discipleship. He's answering questions of what does it mean to be a disciple of Jesus, which is why Mark also has the most negative portrayal of the disciples of any of the gospels. And so for Mark, you only know who Jesus is by looking at him on the cross. You can't understand who Jesus is before the cross. Jesus is hiding his identity because for Mark, you can't understand Jesus until you get to the cross. So the reoccurring question is Mark is, well, who is Jesus? It's asked by the crowds. It's asked by the religious leaders. It is asked by the disciples. And nobody answers it right. Peter gets the closest, but then when Jesus says, well, the type of Messiah I am is one that has to die, you lose Peter. The only character in the entirety of Mark's gospel that correctly identifies Jesus is the Gentile centurion at the cross, who, when Jesus is dying, declares, surely this is the Son of God. And so, what Mark is doing is he's asking this question, well, who is Jesus? Who is Jesus? And Jesus is intentionally concealing his identity because it's only understood at the cross. Nobody gets it right until the cross. It's at that point that Jesus can now be correctly identified as the Messiah. And so the only one there to witness his death and correctly identify Jesus, ironically, is a Gentile centurion. And I think what Mark is doing is he's asking his audience to ask this reoccurring question, who is Jesus? Don't answer it like the women who are scared and afraid. He's calling his audience to be disciples that are better than all of these other characters, but be like the Gentile centurion watching Jesus die. Answer the question, who is Jesus? And by extension, what it means for me to be a follower of Jesus by looking at Jesus on the cross and declaring Jesus to be the Messiah, the Son of God, who suffers and dies. And for Mark's audience, who's probably suffering as well, that means
Mhm.
I follow in the way of the cross and that I'm going to suffer.